streaming live on WHIT Radio from High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. It's the Word Up podcast show. I'm your announcer, Keaton Jack, and now your host, Kevin Pinkay.
Good morning. I am your host, Kevin, and with me today we have Mr. Mooney, Jalen, and Chris behind the glass. We do have Keaton working on the board. And, we're going to be talking about, the Word Up, the coming up event of an amazing show. It basically gives us an introduction to slam poetry and amazing artists, young artists actually, a few students of ours, all of them are students of ours. And basically, we're going to give you a little intro to have a preview on the Word Up event. Before we get there, Mr. Mooney, can you give us a background on yourself?
Sure. So my name is Mr. Mooney, for those that don't know me, and I teach mostly 9th and 10th graders English language arts. And I have a background in performance poetry, spoken word, slam, hip-hop, and I really am just excited about the opportunities to bring those kinds of literacies into the classroom. And I think it's good for people, good for young people as writers, people who are developing their craft, to be in a space where they have a creative outlet. And more importantly, or equally as important, having people that are willing to show up and listen. Whenever we do these Word Up events, and you guys, a lot of you have been there, the place is usually packed. And I think that speaks to the support that we get. I think that's really huge, that we have great turnouts to see people come and support, like you said, our young artists, our young poets who are writing, and having people to listen, that's huge.
Where did the idea originate to, introduce Word Up to the school system?
Sure. So there was actually 2 students kind of simultaneously approached me about starting a slam poetry club back in 2012 when I first started working here. And they said, hey, I know you're into slam poetry because I performed at a coffee house, and they both pitched this idea of starting a slam poetry club. So we just started meeting on Tuesdays, and 5 or 6 people turned into 10 people, into 15 people, into 20 people, and we had these open mic sessions, and we were like, wow, there's so many talented writers and MCs at this school, and nobody really even knows that. So we were like, we got to find a way to kind of share this with the larger school community, and that's where the idea of Word Up came from.
So what exactly is slam poetry? Is it just hip-hop rap, or is it, can you give us an insight?
Sure. I think it's hard to define, right? But I would say spoken word or slam poetry is just poetry that it wants to come off the page for some reason. It's poetry that is performed, it's performance poetry. So there's something about it that it just makes it want to come off the page, and it's entertainment, but it's also art, and it's the use of language in fun, new, interesting ways.
Yeah, everyone has their own special, incorporation to their own poetry, which makes everything unique. But slam poetry, how does it enhance the education of the students in school?
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that's unique about slam poetry is that it usually comes from people whose voices are typically left out of traditional curriculum and schooling, and it's like writing about stories that actually matter to you, so that's why a lot of slam poetry is political, or talks about social injustices, or things that make you angry, or something that makes you extraordinarily joyful or happy. It's a very personal kind of writing, and it comes from experience, so there's so many different ways to express yourself through spoken word, and I think that's probably what's appealing about it. I know that's what was appealing about it to me. It was a medium that I could express myself in that was sort of comes from the traditions of hip hop, and it's rhythmic, and it's entertaining, and it's funny at times, and there's so much that's appealing about it.
How you said you express yourself, right? Do you think with the growing of this community, basically,
Yeah.
Do you think it would be able to reach the heights of becoming a major? How we have broadcasting, we have dance. If it's a form to express yourself, do you think it would be at one point considered to be incorporated into the school system?
That would be beautiful, and I just love that question that you asked me, just because imagine, and some universities are doing that, where there's hip-hop and cultural studies majors. At the University of Wisconsin in Madison, they have a whole program that's centered around spoken word pedagogy and curriculum and teaching and hip-hop, and so that is a major in some universities now. Will we ever get to that place here at this school? I don't know. What's more likely maybe is if there was ever like a creative writing major, because those things go hand in hand, right? Like writing hip hop lyrics or writing spoken word and being a creative writer. So that's probably more likely, but that would be like my dream come true if we ever really embraced hip hop as an academic subject, which I think it should be. Oftentimes we stigmatize it and we just listen to what's on the radio and we think that, rap is only about like, preaching about how much money or women you got, and it's homophobic and it's violent. And yeah, commercial rap, a lot of commercial rap, it are those things. But there's also so many hip hop artists who have positive, uplifting messages, and spoken word artists. So we need to be careful that we don't stigmatize the whole culture of hip hop and then sort of leave it out of schools because it's vulgar. Like there's so much good that comes from it too.
Yeah, so this is your sixth show, right, for
Yes.
What Up. How much progress have you seen, it's starting from the beginning, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Freshman year, that was
Right.
my freshman year, our freshman year. How much progress have you seen it, expand to?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of different like kinds of progress that we've made. One of the kinds of progress that I'm most proud of is that the students who I've been working with who've performed in those shows consistently over the past 3 years, a lot of themselves see themselves as writers now and poets, and this is an identity that they like have affirmed. Like they call themselves writers and poets, and I think that's amazing, right? When you go from I just write a little bit, I'm not a poet or an MC or anything, right? And then you start to realize that you can do this, and people want to listen, and people will snap and cheer and come to listen to you. That changes things, when you start to see yourself as someone who is a writer, like that title, that's powerful stuff. We're talking about identity,
Yeah, like you said, basically, how do you see our school as supportive towards, this new community of yours?
Yeah, I'm blown away by how supportive this school has been, and I mean from the administration and Dr. G and Miss Crone down to the students who come to our shows. Like the answer has always been yes. We're always like, we have this idea, we want to put on this show, and it celebrates hip hop and spoken word, and we're yes, the answer is yes, and so we have so much room and space to build and grow this community, and I'm really excited about what's to come.
All right, Jalen and Chris, you guys have been in the in the community for 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
You guys could give me like a highlight of your experiences in with Mr. Mooney.
I think one of the defining moments in the club is when I think I did my first poem, and I wasn't expecting people to give me that type of feedback almost, but it went pretty well, and from there I've just been trying to expand myself as a writer, and doing different things with the club, like making the promo or doing the documentary of Chris.
It's just a great experience. You can, you go into the room and you can catch a vibe. Everyone's just so. It's like a family, You walk in there and there's no judging at all. You can write a rhyme, you can write a poem. It's whatever you want, It's self-expression. And I have never actually performed in the show, but I am a poet on my own, and hopefully I will get to that one day. But I'm known as the DJ for the past
DJ Chris.
year, DJ Chris. Well, I've had more names and shows, but it's a beautiful experience because I'm very into music, and I bring that element, because a lot of people don't understand that it's not just, the slam is not even just the expression of writing, but it's the whole vibe. Last time we had dancers, we had people breakdancing, we had hip-hop music, and I bring that musical element to it, and everyone loves it. Everyone's off their seats, everyone's having a great time.
Beautiful. What would you guys say, does it enhance your education here in the school?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it definitely helps with creative writing and expressing what you want to say on paper. It makes it really easy and allows you to showcase different things almost.
Yeah.
You become more of a confident human being as well, and then just you learn to accept other people's values and other people's way of thinking, and they motivate you too, because you see so much creativity in a room, and you're just you get home and you're like, man, I want to write like that, because I know a lot of the people in that crowd. A lot of people have become members after going to a show because it's just this is amazing,
Yeah.
I was a member after the show. I decided to join after. It was the second one, right? I decided to join after that one because I just saw how everyone was able to express themselves, and how everyone didn't kind of judge. Everyone was kind of open to what they had to say. So
and even with how I was saying, every different. There's so many different elements to this. we even the filming, because that's just our major and that's what we love to do. You know, and we've done projects for Mooney with Mooney, and it's always great to now that we're working on a documentary, and it's awesome because it brings everyone together, and that's really what we need here.
So your sixth show, right? And I heard the TV Pro did create an introduction or a quick video for the show. I'm not sure if Keith has the video to put it up. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever annual Word Up Slam Edition. In the red corner, we have weighing in at 156 pounds, the veteran poet, Kobe Garcia. And in the blue corner, we have weighing in at 126 pounds, the underdog, Ned Beltran. Let's get ready to slam!
Amazing video. They did a really good job on the thing. As you could tell, tomorrow, Friday, $3 in the black box. Any preview you want, heads up on the show?
Sure. Well, I just want to give props too. I think the opening of the show, we had a little clip too, right, from Jalen, and Jalen designed a little promo for us too. So I just want to give him props for that because I know he worked really hard on it. Yeah. Jalen has been doing some amazing work with kind of getting a lot of this work we've been doing documented and filmed and shared, so I have to give him props for that. But yeah, tomorrow the show's going to be dope. It's going to be off the hook. We have this poet named Rudy Francisco coming from San Diego, California. He's kind of like one of the most popular poets on the slam scene right now, like across the country. So there's a lot of hype and excitement about that, and he writes some amazing poems. He really kind of specializes in like love poems, but not like cheesy ones, like really cool ones, if you can imagine that. So yeah, it's February, so come through, bring a date or come solo, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Well, I am definitely watching the show. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
Oh man, just don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Worth it.
It's actually going to be a really good one. Since this time we have Rudy, who's like, I guess you could say more mainstream almost.
Mm-hmm.
He's very popular, and I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate. And of course, we got DJ Chris.
Thank you. I'm going to have the best music possible for this show. And I'm going to try to liven up the spirits before and after and during the show. Everyone's going to have a good time.
Cool.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Word Up. There's 6 events tomorrow at 3 o'clock right after school. $3 the entrance. Guys, you can't miss it. It's amazing. You guys have really put together an amazing organization and community.
Thank you guys for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with your show.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Word Up podcast. Tune in for WHIT Radio's YouTube page for more shows. Check out the show tomorrow. Tickets are $3. And now we're just going to close out the show with a little bit of Rudy Francisco for what you guys can expect tomorrow.
If I could, I would nail these hands to the edges of stars.
The mics are on.
I would sacrifice this body to the sky, hoping to resurrect as someone spiteful enough to not care about you anymore, too. Staple me to a cross. Pierce my side with a broken promise, and I will bleed all the crippled reasons why you deserve one more chance. 3. Loving you was the last thing that I felt really good at. 4. You want to know how I got these scars? See, I ripped every last piece of you out of my smile. 5. I whispered you stardust. 6. I spoke you into sunflower. 7. I dipped my hands in forever. I touched you infinity, treated you as if you were the last molecule of oxygen inside of a gas chamber. I was good to you. 8. You want to know how I got these scars? See, I swallowed my pride, and then it clawed its way out of my mouth. 9. I realized that I was never really your boyfriend. I was just